almost gave up on myself. Again, depression, illness, and fear. All of it made me want to shrink. But here I am, present and open, saying, it is never too late to bloom anyway. My name is Ciamara, and here I stand at my alma mater, the Fashion Institute of Technology in beautiful Manhattan, New York. I'm standing at the school I once dreamt of attending, and yet I've been working as a cashier in my hometown. How does one go from art school in New York City to wondering if you'd wasted your potential? This is my story and why I decided to bloom anyway. My headpiece was inspiration for my video title. It is my art, handmade with recycled materials, clay, and acrylic paint. In my hair is a yellow headband adorned with faux rusted bolts. A Russian Kokoshnik-inspired, concrete-like crown has borders harkening to classic architecture. On this tall base, a single clay rosette bursts through a crack in the concrete. This rosette is mirrored on the back, and there, rather than blooming, curls into a delicate wither. In this life's tests and trials, whether they be uncontrollable feats or self-imposed afflictions, we have a choice. Always. Will we shrink and wither, or bloom anyway? My art tells the story I'm living. I call it blooming anyway. And maybe, hopefully, it's your story too. Working as a cashier in the heart of my hometown, time to time, former teachers, classmates, and their parents would greet me, and honestly, I'd feel that flare of embarrassment rise. The hot spark, a hearkening reminder that in this familiar circle, I was a star peg trying to fit into a square space. Customers and coworkers alike would ask, "Why are you working here?" But this is exactly why I am making this video. To remind you and myself, it is never too late to be who you want to be. Blooming anyway. When I first wore the piece, people thought I was the Statue of Liberty. Some would ask me who I was cosplaying that day. Others, without question, congratulated me like I just graduated. A rare few people would understand the Kokoshnik reference instantly, and I loved that all because it showed me that my art told stories and provoked wonder. That's the power of storytelling through design. But, as irony would have it, I am not a recent graduate. In high school, I was the artist. One of two icons, if truth be told. I could stay up all night with pencils at my side, fingers smudged with pigment, sketching faces full of raw sass, quiet confidence, and a touch of whimsy. I reveled in the rendering of perfect imperfections, the small, vulnerable truths which made each portrait pulse with life. Everyone expected me to go far, and I was looking forward to attending art school. At FIT, I studied fine arts. I wandered through new mediums. I met new friends, but internally, depression and comparison ate at my confidence. My confidence was bleeding all over, and my art reflected that fragile self-concept. I wrapped myself with experiments, bubble wrap sheets, fragile logos, futuristic motifs. I felt alien. I wanted to leave. But somewhere, deeply I knew, giving up on my life wasn't an option. No, there was a small, stubborn seed of hope that wouldn't shrink. My therapist gently watered me. She urged me to step out of my head and into the world around me. Even feeling terribly fragile, even feeling like an alien, I leaned in. I lifted my head like a child who had not yet learned bashfulness. I only cared to explore, to experience. And suddenly, I started noticing things. On my commute, I watched the city breathe. I admired the structures erecting about the city, small and grand. Some beams were encrusted with a thick coat of paint, crumbling away to reveal the raw metal beneath. Rust dripped brown. Small bolts anchored massive forms. To me, it was stunning. I couldn't look away. I wanted to wear it. To be unyielding as metal, yet affected, shaped, and made beautiful by life. That vision shifted my art and my perspective. Post-school, I put many of my efforts into my art practice and evolved several times over. Oh, but fear held me back from truly striving. I settled. And then, one day, a customer pointed at my work and asked, "Why do you work here when you designed that?" I'd heard versions of this question before. Typically, I would respond, "The path of an artist is all but linear." True enough, but really just an excuse from myself to me. Well, that day was different. For some reason, I had no excuse left. I could only smile and say, "Thank you." I thanked her because she and others could see something in me that I hadn't allowed myself to see fully. And it made me ask, when will I finally see it for myself? What if I gave it all a God-honest try? So, when people ask if I've graduated, I say yes. Not from school, but from victimhood, from fear. That's why I am here. I'm graduating into victory. I am choosing to bloom anyway. And I hope that for you too. Revel in what set you apart, even as a child. Revel in what you admire, even when it first shows up as envy. That's not jealousy. That's your North Star calling. Revel in what unnerves you now, because that's exactly where you won't remain. Revel in the truth you know deep down, even when it defies all you see. And when you're ready, rebel against your limiting beliefs. Rebel with relentless courage, with movement which brings clarity. Rebel with gratitude, with regulation of self. Rebel by speaking only in glory. Because if there's one thing I'm finding, it all comes full circle. This is the faith. Thank you.
Just call me Lady Liberty, the tall mirror of and the bastion for the many people who possess great grit and beauty. God bless America and God bless the world at large. Okay.